seen Pirate Bird fly in from the GSL intro. We're already done with one game. Polt smashing MMA, partially due to MMA's choice and strategy, but of course also in Polt's unique control. His execution during that was beautiful.
It certainly was tasteless. By the way, get on Twitter, hashtag the GSL.
Hashtag the GSL.
Do it. And you know who just hashtagged the GSL?
Who?
I was checking during the break. The party in Austin, Texas. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Having a GSL party and hashtagging the GSL.
We at the GSL were originally hoping to have some of the parties streamed.
Yeah, Toronto.
Hi,
So hi to you guys.
So many of you guys, but right now the logistics of that was just a lot. You know, I don't think people really realize actually how busy everybody is down here at Gulm, trying to make all this stuff for you guys. All right, our map is Metalopolis. It's a classic map, basically the oldest map that has never really been changed, with the exception of the reduction of one starting location.
Yes.
So close proximity, games couldn't occur. That never really affected Terran vs. Terran negatively, but it was bad for non-mirror matchups. So this is a map that these guys have played probably more games on than any other map.
Yes.
The other map that would come to mind is Zelnaga Caverns, but
especially Polt. Polt's been playing since early in the beta.
yes, that's very true. Polt is old school, even though this game is like a year old. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, MMA, remember, he won MLG, but he's down one game against Polt, and that was a pretty one-sided game. That's going to be a confidence boost to Polt. All right, enough of my talking. It's time. Head-to-head, MMA down one game. Polt ahead. Can he keep that lead, though? We're going to find out soon. The map is Metalopolis, and this is the grand finals of the GSL Super Tournament.
Sponsored by LG Cinema 3D and Intel.
Now the sponsor attack. So, to the north, I brought my lucky compass today. We have, mentored by Slayer's Boxer,
Slayer's MMA.
And the crowd goes absolutely bonkers.
My chair is actually shaking by how much noise is being made.
My nerd arms are shaking. And not because I was trying to lift weights earlier.
Over here in the red at the south, victor of the first game, new nerd on the block. This is his first finals. How will he do?
Polt Prime Week.
Polt Prime Week. We have prime flags here. And Polt actually, well, I mean, you and I have experienced this firsthand, so we can just kind of tell the audience about this. He is incredibly confident in person.
Yeah, he is.
Socially, confident about his game skills. You know, some players, as good as they are, they suffer from severe anxiety. It's very stressful.
Yeah,
playing in front of the world.
It can be tasteless, but he is a player that is not affected, as is MMA. All right,
more and more Marines being made here. One gas so far for each of these guys.
And while we wait for things to pick up, you might want to check out thehandsomernerd.com. The greatest StarCraft 2 t-shirts in the world.
Yeah, we got a good Space Invaders themed shirt on there. Paying homage to Mutas against Thors and Bunkers.
And we have the SCV coming up. Oh, gets turned away by that Marine. A Tech Lab, so it looks like we will see a Reaper here out of Polt.
And Reaper openings are great. You know, you get that Reaper out, you can scout and see what your opponent's doing. That way you're going to know, is he sending a Banshee? Which I think is the biggest question in Terran versus Terran. Because if you see the Banshee coming, you can prepare. Otherwise, you can save your money doing other stuff.
Well, it used to be the biggest question. Now the biggest question might be, is he hiding a second barracks and getting stim? Because that's what just owned MMA very hard that last game. Now a reactor and a factory going up. The factory is far enough away that we are going to assume that factory is probably going to be for making a tech lab for Banshees. It's most likely. We'll see, though. Oh, a command center.
That's interesting.
Yep.
It's kind of a moderate build.
Yeah.
Very middle of the road.
That's a good way to call it, Tasteless. And those type of builds can be quite nice. You know, you put on some pressure. Well, you don't normally die.
It's no shocker that he's doing this after the first game. His first game was very specific. I think he read a little bit too much into the way Polt is supposed to play. Yeah. Probably setting the Prime Team's play style. And you know what just happened? The Polt's like, LOL, dude, I'm actually trying to make a bunch of stuff to attack you like 2 minutes after you were, you decided you were going to attack me. So, I'm not surprised at all that we're going to see him do something, like we said, a little bit more moderate, safe.
The Reaper is out on the map. Marines now being produced.
Now, this is interesting. You can see here that Polt is actually going for 3 barracks. He may actually enter into the Marine King Prime infantry style.
Oh,
here we have the Reaper.
A citizen's arrest made by those SCVs.
I know those SCVs held him down and tickled him until milk was coming out of his nose.
And that's what Reapers are weak to.
Yeah.
They don't like to laugh. They're very serious units.
No, they're very serious.
All right, so.
Now, this is also an indicator that we may actually see MMA. If he keeps that factory floating and uses it to scout, we may see him make mass barracks as well.
Yeah, I think we are going to see that, Tasteless. It's definitely looked like both players want to use quite a few Marines and Marauders. Well, maybe not Marauders, maybe just Marines. Because when you go in Marine Marauder against just Marine, you lose.
Yeah, you do. The DPS damage per second is just too high on Marines. It just is.
And that factory comes out. He's just looking for proxies with it. That was cute. I like that.
Yeah, that's actually pretty smart. I thought he was going to scout the whole map with it, but you know what? We've seen people proxy Starport there before. Why not just take a peek?
Yeah, if you're not going to build anything out of your factory for a bit, it's awesome. Now, we do have a Raven on the way from MMA, so he's just being as safe can be. Marines coming out to take over the watchtowers. He wants to see everything he can. Very, very smart. Now, will this Banshee do any damage?
Ideally, he'd like to get in there to kill off as many SCVs as possible. He's also going to be doing a little bit. Oh my God!
The best value. What have you done with MMA?
I know. What?
That was bad.
That was bad. I think that was the best for you driving that Banshee just now.
That was basically the worst thing you can have occur. That
might have been the best for you drunk driving that Banshee. That's how bad that was. All right. Well, look, man, if you lose the first Banshee, it's pretty bad. The first Banshee is sort of the staple unit in most of Terran vs. Terran.
Now, luckily, he did not go for a bunch of Banshees and Cloak.
No, he did not do that.
Then that would have been even worse. When it's just one Banshee, it's like, well, yeah, that sucks, man. But the game is not over. Don't worry. Now, we do have Stim. Do we already have Stim? Wow.
I feel like I'm old.
Why?
Never mind. I was actually waiting for you to volley a joke back to me, but
I'm sorry.
He's already out of high school, but just a few years ago he was a little boy. Now, come on, Artosis, be funny.
I'm sorry. You're putting
Pull
me
it
on
together,
the spot.
man.
It just doesn't work.
Pull it together, man.
All right.
Now we got a lot of Marines here, but Polt, he's confident, probably from the last game, being out on the map, engaging.
This is going to be scary here. Combat Shield's almost done.
Is there something up on that Zelnaga Watchtower? No, there isn't, I guess. All right.
Marine gets out of there while the getting's good. Now, these are going to have Stim and Combat Shield when he engages. There are 2 siege tanks and a bunker, so looks like MMA is going to be ready for it.
MMA siege tanks are actually very well positioned, I want to point out. That's pretty tough to just dash up and kill.
I love that Polt has built this timing into his build where if his opponent's being too greedy, he can
he's
kill
not
him.
Turning around. What?
And he's just going for it.
Really?
Kind of interesting here.
I can't believe he just did that, and he didn't even kill the bunker.
And it gets repaired.
Yeah. Oh, not quick enough, but it should have been repaired. Mistake by MMA.
He sold it and repaired it to make sure he got the money back.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Excused.
Now, I'm still shocked that MMA, Polt looked at that and decided he should attack.
Yeah, it was a bit odd.
He was like, that's a bunker and a very well-positioned siege tank. I bet I should lose all my Marines to that.
Luckily, he did pull back before losing every single Marine.
Yeah.
We do looks like Polt going to put down another fact, so it looks like he's just going to go a siege tank Marine style. It's basically the most solid style for this period of the game. Both players getting their +1 attack. Bolts will be done first.
So, for the time being, it's 2 base against 2 base. I think MMA was probably caught off guard by those Marines attacking, and then seeing how he killed off everything and actually sold a bunker and basically really prospered from that. He's going to be in a good state of mind.
Certainly.
The factory is on the way here, his second one here for Polt.
Well, we're going to have to see who wants to go ahead and extend their economy, take a 3rd base. Who's going to stay aggressive? And MMA looks like he's going to get some aggression going on.
Polt, if you notice, the first game he was planning on being aggressive, and MMA was actually a little bit more aggressive, and it worked in Polt's favor. But he's doing the same thing again. He's pushing out once again here.
And a command center is started.
MMA could counterattack here with the small drop that we have. And I don't know if he knows he should attack yet, but he's going to see.
And oh my God, it's sieging up, and Polt's going to want to run, but he spreads a beautiful spread right there. Oh my God!
Look at that! He actually just going to run over his opponent. He just needs to target down the siege tanks, and he does.
That was insanity.
Here comes a counterattack, though. He's moving in there. Polt does stim it time. MMA not actually telling his Marines to attack quick enough here.
Yeah, just on the move command for too long, and that will be cleaned up. He'll lose the medevac and all.
Oh my God! Polt is like killing everything everywhere. Dude, I can't believe he split those Marines and was like, yeah, I'm going to kill like all these siege tanks.
Yeah, no, that was insane.
I would have ran. I would have ran.
I turn around right there.
I would have turned off my computer and hid under the bed, Artosis.
I would have kicked the plug out and pretend that I didn't.
Yeah, and a tornado hit the neighborhood. Sorry.
You live in Seoul. There's no tornadoes in Seoul.
Lightning storm. Monsoon.
So that I'm feeling bad that I chose for MMA to just own up Polt, because Polt right now is showing some amazing micro, some amazing tactics.
Yeah, he really is. Well, you know what's funny?
He's playing spectacularly.
Dude, you know what's interesting is very rarely do you see a game where two players are so evenly matched, but whenever they engage, the other guy is able to force his units into doing more damage, manipulating the situation into his favor. Polt is just in MMA's face. The SCD sees it, though, so he knows what's up.
He does indeed.
Now
MMA moving up a little bit. He does have an extra command.
Oh my God! Denying the medevac drop. These 4 Marines isolated now. Polt, we've seen people do this before, sometimes occupying this upper location. Oh, excuse me. He might even just push here.
Look at this.
Oh my God.
Running down now, going to try to take out some barracks. And he's got to be careful. He does not want to leave those Marines out to die.
A little bit sloppy here with the Marines, but he's getting the orbital.
Well, can he get the orbital?
He's going to get it.
Oh my God! Polt takes down the orbital.
Polt is actually like a Terran with rabies right now. I don't even know how to describe this.
Oh my God, this guy is on top of his game, Tasteless.
Any other Terran would have turned around due to the siege tank fire, and that's not just Artosis and you talk, and you can ask any expert Terran. This is actually startling to see somebody getting into his opponent's face and succeeding so unbelievably well. Yeah,
you know, a lot of it had to do with killing all those units before. And now he has a third base, while MMA, no third command center.
Yeah, he has to start over from scratch.
MMA has lost more units. He's lost more commands. And oh my God, here comes MMA trying to get the reinforcements.
He only sieges up.
And it looks like this time MMA gonna take down the army.
Well, he does have a lot of siege tank shots. He might be able to thin that out considerably, but now the medevac there changes everything.
Picks him up,
drops
him on the siege tanks. There you go. And he will end up taking out all those siege tanks. So big move there by MMA.
But at the same time,
no.
Polt controls the high ground here. Polt, though, not using his medevacs like MMA is to spot and make sure his siege tanks can shoot a little bit further.
Well, it looks like he is going to get flanked pretty soon here. Oh, man. No. MMA just keeps on sieging into Polt's tanks.
Bum rushes the medevac. MMA, there's not a battle it seems like he can come out on top of.
This is looking bad, man. MMA taking more damage than he absolutely should have.
And you know, this is smart. Polt might have been able to take on more there, but he doesn't need to. He can just back up. He has a third base. He's going to make MMA struggle, trying to claw his way into just that one corner of the map that should already be his.
I got to tell you, man, MMA making some sloppy moves this game so far. But again, this is like we saw him against Ring King. First couple games didn't go so well, and then he turned it on. So maybe something like that's happening again, but Polt is looking invincible.
Yeah, he has the eye of the tiger right now. I don't know what else to say. He is really...
He has the claws of the tiger, the eye of the tiger. He has the tiger stripes.
He's got the tail, too.
He's got the back legs of Cheltenham Run.
Teeth. Basically, the tiger doesn't have any of his body parts left.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of sad. I mean, that tiger might have been endangered. Now, there's a sensor tower up. Now, Polt is being smart. He's just continuing to focus all the attention of this game to the upper left side of the map. That way, MMA isn't inside of his base. MMA isn't setting up a contain. MMA is just struggling to get an expansion. Now, there is no planetary here and only one siege tank, which these Marines can take on, but he sees the sensor tower, shoots it down, turns around, waits for the element of surprise to occur a little bit later on.
Well, it looks like another command center.
God. Is this a glitch in the Matrix? Or is that just deja vu there? I don't know.
Well, MMA at this point, Tasteless, feels like Agent Smith is everywhere. And, well, he kind of is.
Well, if that's the case, then he needs to Neo it up right now. He's going to be enraged. Going for the tanks, going for the Marines. Well, MMA will hold this. But, you know, at what cost? This is one of the rare situations where, in fact, Polt is allowed to lose his entire army because he killed off his opponent's command center for the second time.
Now, the one scary thing is a lot of siege tanks right now for MMA. It's a lot of siege tanks.
Well,
and they're moving towards
7 to 6.
Yeah. But, you know, with those siege tanks, and Polt is spread out a little bit, MMA can kind of choose his place to go and siege up, and it's going to be, Polt has to really be very careful with where he moves his army right now. This is the one moment in the game that MMA can actually do some damage.
All right, let's see if he can pull it off. Polt, maybe you're making a mistake here, but whenever I say something like that, Polt's like, no, Tasteless, just goes in there and kills everything. All right.
And
look at this, man. I've never seen a Terran vs. Terran look like this.
No, never. Polt just rolling through everything.
This may be GG. I don't know. Yeah, there it is.
GG. Wow.
Look at this guy. He's like, damn, I'm crazy good. LOL. He is halfway to making $100,000.
He is.
And you can see the bewilderment on the Slayer's team's face.
Yeah.
Because they're like, really?
I don't think anyone was. Polt has been playing well.
It's not even
this is the best games I've ever seen.
It's not even that MMA is down 2 games. It's that he lost 2 games like that.
Yeah. Polt just, man, he's got like a big club with nails and he's just bludgeoning this poor little nerd here.
Well, this is pretty insane. You can actually even see the confidence just beaming through the booth. See all those things coming out on the stage? That's actually the confidence of Polt right now. Those are not stage lights that we set up, right? That's actually his energy levels right now.
It's like DBZ in here, Tasteless.
Yeah.
Polt is up at Super Saiyan level 3 right now. He's getting his long blonde hair. He's getting actually too muscly to the point where he actually looks ugly.
Yeah, so that's what it looked like too. Did you ever see in the when they remade Chrono Trigger, they had the artist of DBZ do it?
No.
And Chrono, who's supposed to be like a 16-year-old boy, has like 18 muscles on each arm. I'm like, that's what he looks like.
That's not healthy at a young age.
No, it doesn't even look good, man. All right, so Slayer's Boxer as well as Sella have entered the booth, essentially the mentors, coaches here of MMA, and they're saying, listen, man. And meanwhile, Marine King Prime's like, dude, check out these glasses, man. It's crazy, man.
It's like your Marines are popping right out, man. It's like I'm their king and they're real. It's like totally awesome.
Well, I think MMA is going to have to approach this with a little bit of a different strategy. There's something, though, that's almost ominous about this game when it comes to Polt styles. He keeps engaging, and you know what I'm talking about. Some of these battles, I'm like, maybe you shouldn't do that. And he comes out
spreads them
on
in
top.
such a thin line that the siege tank splash.
It's a perfect arc.
It's 3 to 4 Marines, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Instead of like the whole clump.
And stimmed Marines against siege tanks, that's just going to kill everything.
Of course, when there's no Marines left, man.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Siege tanks die pretty fast as stim Marines. This is not StarCraft 1.
Everything dies pretty fast as Sim Marines.
Yeah,
let's be honest
the
here.
DPS, the damage per second, is just huge.
Yeah. Sim Marines have, I think, the most in the game next to carriers. I do believe.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
And no one uses carriers, so there you go.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? No, but it's actually very interesting to see the way that they're approaching this game. I don't actually. Our next map is going to come up in a minute. We don't actually have it in front of us here, but for a game like Metalopolis, which is the oldest map these guys have played on, and then a game like Belshire Beach, which is the newest map, we're not seeing any difference in what the games are looking like. They've been one-sided. Polt,
MMA hasn't been able to get anything done. He just sends his Banshee in and dies.
Exactly. He's not actually allowed to. He's not allowed to be.
He's nowhere.
He's not allowed to wear the daddy pants in this game.
He's like
at
us
all.
in the GSL.
Yeah. No, he's not actually able to start doing what he's supposed to do. He's made 1 or 2 mistakes, and then Polt gets in the driver's seat, and
Polt is forcing mistakes as well. He's like, hey, you're going to want to siege here and engages. He's like, not really, bam, and it just spreads everything.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, man? You're like, oh, I got this.
There's micro that we can't really show you guys how intricate it is, but that he's doing with the arcing of the Marines.
Yeah.
It's not a math game where it's like, well, I didn't know that 2 siege tanks and 9 Marines beats 8 siege tanks. And,
has to do with minimizing the splash.
3 siege tanks and 8 Marines. Yeah, I mean, he's actually zoning the Marines so well that the splash damage of the siege tanks, which generally is what softens up, if not destroys, the bulk of the Marine army right away. Usually that's what does the damage, but he's just spreading it out so well. All right, Artosis, are you ready?
Asus,
I have my Robin Wizard head on. This is the GSL. It's going to be game number 3.
Crossfire SE.
Crossfire.
Oh, Tasus.
Whatever. Watch the YouTube video, Crossfire, the board game. You'll get it. That's basically what the GSL is now, except better, cooler, the players are older. Now, this map is another interesting turn versus turn map because this is actually very different from the other maps you've already commentated. It's narrow. It's a bunch of valleys and narrow plateaus to go around. It's a little bit maze-like, a little bit labyrinthian. There's a lot of back doors. Counterattacking is pivotal. Also note the map is tall and skinny.
Yes.
Not
this map
not
can
a
be
square.
cut in half.
Yes. So that's something to bear in mind as well. If you were in elementary school, they call it the hot dog style or hamburger style with the paper. This is a hamburger style map, Artosis. It's time. The Super Tournament here at the GSL. The winner gets $100,000. Who's it going to be? Let's find out right now. It looks like it's going to be Polt, but there's always room for a comeback. MMA is going to need that right now. Polt, I've never seen a turn versus turn start out this one-sided.